Hello and welcome to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. It is Tuesday, December 14th. Oh my God. In this episode, you get a penalty, you get a penalty, you get a penalty. And conspiracy theories abound in the Champions League. I have a new extra man crush. His initials are CG. But first, Mike, are Spurs ever going to play another game this season? The COVID crisis is hitting the Premier League again. We've got canceled games. What are you feeling on Spurs? You're getting better in the table without playing.
Yeah, we are. It's funny. We've got games in hand and we're feeling awesome about it. We're starting to get our respiratory activity back, which is good. The reports I've heard say that Spurs are going to be among the 99.9% of people who have not died from this virus, which is nice. And we're going to continue on playing, I think, what might be a weakened Leicester side. Look, say what you will about the fact that, yes, they were ill, so they didn't exactly get to rest per se, but these are not miles that we're putting on these legs, right? So
yeah,
in
great.
Some way, I still like to think that we'll be fresh for not just Thursday, but Saturday. The games are coming thick and fast, right? And this is This is where you kind of separate the men from the boys. But one interesting note on Spurs, as we talked about last time, that they were going to forfeit their last Conference League game, which would
we still don't know
competition.
The incompetent UEFA still doesn't know what to do.
Right. And so there's a lot of incompetent UEFA going on, and that's going to be a theme among this episode. But the latest news that the UEFA Conference League draw included a supposedly eliminated Tottenham Hotspur in it. And everybody's kind of like, but I thought we were, hold on a second. You said we weren't going to because of the thing and with the stuff and the forfeit. Well, hold on. What actually is happening is last Thursday, Tottenham's game with Rennes was canceled, which meant they were going to likely result. They were unable to reschedule it for before the deadline, which I believe is New Year's. I don't remember.
Who knows?
And again, games are coming every 3 days. So it's very difficult for Spurs to be able to get another game in. But they were unable to agree on a time. So because Tottenham were the inspiration for the postponement, shall we say, they were going to have to forfeit. They were going to be suffered a 3-0 loss, which would mean that they would drop to third and Vitesse would take the second spot in the group. Again, most Spurs fans, myself included, were psyched about the idea that we wouldn't have to play in the NIT's NIT anymore, and we would be able to focus completely on the league schedule. Well, enter UEFA. What's effectively happening is they haven't ruled yet. They're supposed to. You can't make this shit up. They're supposed to rule that it's a 3-0 forfeit and Spurs are out. And in the event that happens, Vitesse will take that spot.
What they're doing right now is they're having their accounting team figure out how many people in London might watch this game and whether the TV ratings will be affected if they lose Tottenham, which in the Premier League are not a power. I won't insult them. But to the rest of Europe, they're a top percent.
Big deal.
They're a big deal, right? It counts to have Spurs.
Look, as you're looking at this draw, Marseille is a big deal. PSV Eindhoven, Leicester City, Celtic. That's it, right? Like,
by the way, Brendan Rodgers with the classic quote when he found out he was going to this, he was like, "I don't even know what that tournament is."
Yeah. Nor does anybody, Brendan.
Nobody knows what's going on.
And they're making it up as they go. So it's unlikely that Tottenham will face Rapid Wiener.
Somewhere in Austria.
It's possible that they will still.
I actually think the Von Trapps own that team.
That's correct. Thank you. Well done. That's a good one.
Well, it's Nazi adjacent. It's Nazi adjacent.
Well, that's a Raj and Davo throwback too. I like that. That was a nice job. Shout out to the Men in Blazers one time.
Wait a minute.
There you go. Mug. There's your Men in Blazers mug. Well done.
I had a blue one, but
we are great friends of the pod and former BlazerCon attendees back in the day.
The one that they did.
Yeah, the one they did where they were like, "Oh, this is really expensive. People don't want to do this again." Yeah. That one. But can I go to my scores? Yeah, go through the scores and then we'll dovetail into the other inefficiency UEFA had this week.
It seems the kids are into this. Rapid scores in the order that they were played. Manchester City 1, Wolves 0. City never have the dominance that they expect. They'll never be Anfield, and that's why Liverpool are the best team in the world. But they get a penalty on an armpit handball against Moutinho.
And a red card.
The red card was stupid. It was dumb on Jimenez. He got a yellow in a slew of yellows and then stopped the free kick from happening. The red happening. City were going to win this game anyway. They dominated. Even though City looked weak, they had 25 shots and 10 on target. So they get the narrative that they can't finish. They completely batter Wolves. Chelsea 3, Leeds 2, hard done Leeds. Leeds had the draw in the bag. Chelsea get 2 bullshit penalties. Narrative continues. 2 more goals given up by Chelsea. Where's the defense? I know. It's in the pocket of N'Golo Kante, where it always is. Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. Southampton are the weirdest team in the league. They can appear to be incredible and then appear to be the worst defense in the league. Arsenal have a really good goal where they build off of a back. 16 passes right into the net. Southampton didn't lay a hand on them. Very, very weird goals. Liverpool huff and puff and blow Aston Villa's doors in. Gerrard does get the hero's welcome. Tyrone Mings with his obligatory penalty and mistake. And then the, what? I didn't do anything. Ings feels like he could have had a penalty. Gerrard was salty about not getting the draw. I think Villa were good for the draw. They hung on. But Liverpool at Anfield are nearly back to unbeatable. I fucking hate it. Norwich 0, Manchester United 1. United were back to Ole-ish United. Norwich were good. Should have won this game. At least good for the draw. Ronaldo draws and takes the penalty because it's a penalty. He's taking it. Has anyone noticed that Bruno Fernandes has no goals now that he doesn't take penalties? I did.
Some fantasy owners of his certainly have. I'll tell you that fucking
We're going to talk fantasy when I get to Crystal Palace. On Sunday, Leicester City 4, Newcastle United 0. I didn't even watch this. I just know that Newcastle are falling apart. They're going to go down. I don't think
all the money in the world can't save you now.
All that much. I like that Daka's playing. I like that Tielemans is back. I don't know if Tielemans was injured, but I hadn't heard his name for a while.
He was. So, and he's comfortably the most underrated player in the league. He had a great year. Year last year. Yeah. And it kind of got swept under the rug. And everybody is so fast. I don't mean to interrupt the whole scores thing. So fast to talk about Vardy. So fast to talk about Barnes. Including
it's always these holding midfielders. We were talking about it with Conte. These guys that don't do things, but do things.
He's having, and last year too, a Gundogan-ish year.
Yeah.
Both last year and this year. Anyway, sorry.
In a battle of claret and blue and a total of 1.3 goals, expected goals. 0-0, West Ham, Burnley. That's a barn burner. West Ham dropping points, slowly but surely getting pulled away. They're now 1 point ahead of United and 6 points. Wait, hold on. I can't do the math. 8 points behind Chelsea. The top 3 are indeed the top 3. I didn't watch that game. And then, of course, my Lord and Savior, fucking Conor Gallagher, completely boss and destroys Everton 3-1 to the Palace. We support the Palace. I love Conor Gallagher. He's my new Jack Grealish, and I would trade Jack Grealish for Conor Gallagher right now. I love him. I want him to be my mother's son's uncle's brother that I can hang out with. He's as handsome, as fierce, as strong. He actually might be better for City than Grealish because Grealish likes to stand on the ball, and Gallagher just gets rid of it and goes running and goes kick someone in the fucking face
like a son of
all fucking day.
I want to love Conor Gallagher. I want to love him so bad.
But he's Chelsea.
I remember he's part of the Chelsea army. And by the way, he
loves Chelsea. Us. He's Chelsea all the way.
Yeah, he eviscerated us like he did Everton because he hates Tottenham because he's Chelsea. So I have problems with my ability to enjoy objectively. That's really what my problem comes down to. Conor Gallagher fucking rules, and I don't like him.
Secretly, Will Hughes was the guy who actually made it all work. He sat beneath the two. He sat beneath and did all the running, so Gallagher can get up and down and not get tired. Not to get tired. You need the legs to let these guys do good stuff. But I'm in love with Conor Gallagher. He's secretly, along with Mo Salah, winning me the fantasy league that we're in. That was the scores.
You're in second place. All right. Even though you beat me 3 weeks ago because I was at the Michigan Ohio State game and I didn't set my lineup and I lost.
I don't know what's going on our team.
You know what? I don't care because Michigan beat Ohio State.
Cucurello, whatever the fuck his name is, that long-haired guy from Brighton. I think he's in at left back. Half of our descent is from Brighton. Brighton hasn't played in 14 days.
Yeah.
They're in the lineup. I don't know what's happening to them. Mendy's been terrible. He's still our goalkeeper. So, Chari, are you listening? Will you get back to work, you fucking coolie Indian? Get it done.
That's for those uninitiated. We have like a Steinbrenner Cashman dynamic here, where Laurent's the asshole owner of the team, and our good friend of the pod, Chari, our former coworker and good friend, he's basically the man on the ground running the team.
Right, but I do make some signings. I do review the championship
and Conor Gallagher was one of them, and he won you the game this week. However, it is important to say that when they won the championship last year, I sent Chari the money to decide how much he was giving Laurent, not vice versa.
Yes, that's true. Okay, that was the scores rundown.
Oh my goodness! All right, so let's get back to UEFA's ineptitudes.
No, but there's more. It wasn't just the fucking weird Spurs thing that you went 2 minutes too long on. It was also the Champions League draw.
That's what I'm getting to.
Which was a fucking disaster.
Oh God! So I wake up this morning and I get some text messages from friends, basically saying they fucked up the Champions League draw. They have to do it again. And I went, "Isn't it televised live?" They're like,
"Yes,
yeah." So,
God.
I mean, talk about must-see TV. Holy shit. So,
but here's the thing. Let's set the stage, though, right? If there is a sport that thinks there's more conspiracy theories, it's, I guess, the NBA with the balls and the frozen ball and the Ewing. Like, people in the NBA think the refs are out to destroy their team. I think more than any other sport.
There was a time where they actually were.
They actually did have one ref that did it. But soccer is way over the top beyond basketball. Like, yes. People think literally that this whole weekend was rigged because the big three teams all won their games on penalties. Mm-hmm. So when United win, it's because they get penalties. When Liverpool win, it's because they get penalties. When Chelsea win, it's because they get penalties. And by the way, if you look at the data, the number one team in penalties receives is Leeds. So not so much. It's actually not true that these teams get extra penalties.
This is historical thinking,
but it feels that way. It feels that way because attacking teams get penalties because they're attacking.
Generally speaking, over the course of this season, because of the new rule changes, penalties have been way, way, way down.
Way down,
right?
Yeah, I think that stopped. That kind of they're back to normal.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, it's still on average relative to the last 3 years, right?
Yes.
Especially and like you said, though,
the no fans year, the kickoff year was really weird. They called everything.
Yeah, well, right. But the reason why is because attacking teams have the ball, they're in and around the danger area, they're making different plays, and they're taking risks. They're putting themselves in position to get lucky.
Unless you're Raheem Sterling, when you don't get calls. I mean, that's real.
Conspiracy. Take your hat off. Take your tinfoil hat off.
No, he really doesn't get calls. It's real. I promise you.
All right. But he, so all of this basically, they go through. How much did they get through? Like 2/3 of it before
they went through a lot of it. Like they had there was a full
up.
draw,
Right,
and someone went, "Oh, wait a minute. How come Atleti and United weren't?" So they literally they take all the balls, they put them in the appropriate places because there are rules around which teams can play which. You can't play someone from your group, you can't play someone from your own country, et cetera, in the round of 16. That goes away after this round. So you can only get certain teams in your bowl, basically. Yep. And they're picking them out, and someone figures out that United doesn't have Atleti in their bowl or something like that. And so because they did the whole draw and everything was already picked and not in the right bowls, they then have to redo the whole thing. So, of course, the draws come out. There's teams playing teams. Everyone's ready like, because this is, I think there's another step to take back. These draws are there's very little actual content that goes on in soccer. Like one of the things that's so starved about it is there's really no coverage, right? Yeah. So these draws, like the FA Cup draw, is famous because it decides where you're going to go on a trip. Mm-hmm. So you might have actually watched it and started looking for tickets.
I was going to say, not only tickets, but like flights, hotels. It's not just the teams. The teams don't have to worry about it because they have private charters and they have hotels and whatever.
Right, but for fans,
I can tell you firsthand, I've woken up at 5 a.m. Eastern that it was the year that Spurs went to the final and we drew City. And I was thinking about going to that City game. I ended up not, but nonetheless, I was like, I started looking up flights at 6 o'clock in the morning immediately after the draw.
Yeah,
right.
It does affect things. Like
Sure.
it's one of the things that I think. So let's take another step back. It's one of the things that, on the one hand, makes soccer really interesting and exciting. It's also, on the other hand, like, this is $1 billion industry. You don't have a schedule. You don't know where you're playing. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you could plan it out a little bit better. Like NFL playoffs, at least they kind of know who's going to be in. They have seeds. It's locked. You're like, you're going to play this person or this person, right? Like, they don't do that. It's fucking random. Right? At least you can make contingency plans, right?
Sure.
Ultimately, they have no brackets. They don't do it all planned out. Basically, the only thing they know is where the final's going to be, and they fucking move that thing half the time. Well, COVID moved things, but, Baku. And they put them in, like, who gives you the biggest brown bag of cash is where the Champions League final is. Like, it's in St. Petersburg this year. That's Stalingrad, folks. No, it's Leningrad.
Call it by its proper name.
It's Leningrad. It's Leningrad. But, that's not really a cosmopolitan city.
Not lovely.
Why is it there?
Yeah. Well, where was it last year when you guys played Chelsea? It was something ridiculous.
It was in Porto because it was COVID open.
Oh, I thought it wasn't it originally planned for like Turkey or some shit?
Yeah, but Turkey was just like, they had as many cats as they had COVID, like, because it's known for COVID.
Let's be clear. Before it was known for COVID, it was known for civil war.
Oh, that problem too.
So, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like,
yeah, but Istanbul's famous, right? It has Milan.
Istanbul's famous because of Liverpool, for fuck's sake.
And,
all right.
And Leeds fans getting knifed.
Yeah, not a great track record for Istanbul, right? Like, all right, the Super Bowl rotates every year, right? Between
but Pasadena, they know like 10 years in advance.
Yes, but if it went from Pasadena and Jerry World in Dallas and Miami and Meadowlands a few years ago,
that was a mistake. They'll never do that again.
And then they were like, "We're going to go to Lincoln, Nebraska." What the fuck are you doing? No, you're not. You're not taking the Super Bowl.
No, it would be
Lincoln.
like if they did it at the Big House because they have a big stadium.
Yeah, but at least Ann Arbor is nice. Like it's not, and it can handle that amount of people. Yeah. It's taking these smallish, crazy war-torn cities.
The crazy one is the Baku one.
Right. Hey, we're gonna play the Oakland A's converted football stadium, and we're gonna have the Super Bowl there. What the fuck are you talking about? That's the shit that you.
It would be more like if they had it at like Costa Rica.
Yeah. Right.
What are you doing?
Hey, guys, leave this island and you're going to get robbed.
They should just have it at Wembley all the time. Anyway, that's my English-centric thing. So basically, UEFA's draw is all fucked up. They do solve it, but it does get the tinfoil hat teams on, and it does make for lots of funny stuff, does get everyone thinking their conspiracy theories. Folks, you're giving these people too many credit.
Oh, yeah.
They're morons.
They're idiots.
They fuck up everything that they do.
We just explained why. They're just reckless with this industry, right? I think that's the best word to use. It's not a sport so much as it's a worldwide conglomerate, right?
And dummies.
You just you've got Hunter Biden running this shit. Just where's the UEFA? Where's the?
It was his laptop that was picking the balls.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a fucking.
Say nothing
disaster.
of the government, but that guy is a fucking moron, right? So he's in charge.
Yeah. It's Roger Clinton, it's Jeb Bush, and it's fucking Hunter Biden. Like, these are the people running UEFA. I mean, how about
which Kennedy? Which Kennedy's involved?
Whatever. The one who's the anti-vaxxer, the son, Joe Jr.
There you go.
Fucking weirdos. Anyway, so they're incompetent, but we do have draws for the round of 16. Now, this is where coming in second makes a difference. PSG draws Real Madrid. City draws Sporting. It's not to disrespect these teams, but when you finish top of your group, it makes a difference, right? Liverpool get Inter, who barely hung on. Bayern in an all Anschluss game, Bayern versus Red Bull Salzburg. They're bringing them back together. It's like 1938 all over again. Chelsea get Lille.
Twice. They got him in both.
They got him twice, right? They got him both times. That's kind of fun. Lille, Jonathan David of Canada. Shout out to the Canada soccer. He's going to score a goal and beat Chelsea. Juve get Villarreal. I'm not sure that Juve is better than Villarreal, but that's a good one. And then the blood death hole of Atletico Madrid versus Man United. This is not who Man United needed. They're not going to be able to break Atleti down unless Ragnick can change it. The beautiful one, though, is Ajax get a good draw in Benfica, not to disparage the Portuguese teams, and they did get 2 through, which is pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. But Ajax have been secretly top of the group, led in goal difference. Sebastian Haller, formerly of West Ham, set the record for goals in the group stage, so they might get through. We've got the royalty here. You'd expect Real to beat PSG, frankly. City to beat Sporting. Bayern.
PSG is dysfunctional, and I'm not saying that they're, of course, but they show up. They don't crumble until 2 more rounds in the Champions League, right?
They have not played well for months.
But that's okay. And so here's the difference, because we talked about it with United before we started recording. It is what the hell day is it? December 14th when you're listening to this.
Yes.
These games will not happen until middle of February. And within that 3 months, you've got not just time to heal from injuries.
Unless you're in England.
You have time. You have time to get hurt as well. So that's fair. But you have time to really get yourself out of whatever rut you're in currently. And there's a whole transfer window between here and there. So I'm really not as bullish on Real. And that's not to say maybe they go out.
They've won 10 in a row.
But again, talk to me in February. I'm not all that concerned.
I mean, I had an argument on Twitter with these folks that are like, look at Modric and Benzema. I'm like, it's the worst league in the world right now, La Liga. Sorry, it is. This is an actual fact. I don't know how this translates to quality. It is the lowest scoring league in the world with the oldest average age and the least shots created league. I don't know if that says anything about quality, but it does say maybe it's slow and good for old players.
and I think PSG's, again, a dysfunctional runaway train, but they can put it together.
On a day they can beat anybody. Sure.
I mean, and I can't bet against a team with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi in it.
Messi, by the way, right now, I think
like that.
I'm not even being funny. I think Messi probably has like real depression. Like he's not doing well.
Then you know what'll help him? Seeing the Real Madrid crest for old time's sake.
Maybe that might drive him. I think the Barca thing, this year. I mean, we can go into our shout outs for everybody, but I have one thing. This year has shown me that Ronaldo, he's not better as a player. I don't think skill wise, but mentality wise. Ronaldo's the beast. Ronaldo's the I don't lose guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us about our friends that we were a part of.
So as you all know, we are proud members of the Chop Sports podcast network, run by Dave Sturcio, Chris Gucci. Awesome dudes. They're really putting a good band together. Everybody's growing. We're growing. They're growing. As a network, we just hit 50K downloads, which is really, really awesome. The network is less than a year old. I think it's actually only like 6 or 7 months. So really exciting stuff. We've got like 7 or 8 shows. We are, as we always say, the football wing. But we're really excited for them, and we're excited to be a part of it. So psyched for everybody. We're moving and shaking. We can tell. We see you. We know that there's some new guys here. Welcome. We're so happy to have you guys around. And it's really been fun to sort of see our program grow along with the network, but also along with our partners at FanHub. Laurent actually is found these guys, and it's a really interesting app that is obviously specific mostly to the UK, and we know, we see you guys. So thanks for listening. What I'll say is one thing: if you have gotten this far, join our Facebook group. It's Squeaky Bum Time Podcast on Facebook, open to anybody to join. And why would you do that? Because literally daily, there is an onslaught of conversation about the Premier League, about Champions League, about who's coming up for which games we think you should lose money on, in our shitty gambling segment, which you haven't done lately.
We will. So maybe we'll make it a Patreon and you have to pay $1 here. Tell us.
Imagine paying for bad betting advice. Anyway,
it's fantastic. It's the best part of the show.
But so we're really excited to welcome you guys into not just the Squeaky Bum Time family, but the Chop Sports family. It's been a lot of fun being a part of it as well. And it's really an inviting and welcoming group of guys and gals, if you will. So do yourself a favor. If you enjoy the show, we love you. Thank you so much. But join us on Facebook, Squeaky Bum Time Podcast. You'll see it. It's the group. And we'll see you in there.
Yeah. And I'd like, again, to shout out to Russ from Fan Hub, who put us on. I hope that Stockport County is doing really well. I loved how grumpy he was. It made me, I was like, this is an English person who loves his team and hates big teams. I love that about the English. And I love all the stuff that goes on and stories about guys from Plymouth Argyle traveling 21 hours to go see Sunderland play. Go look at a map. That shit's far.
Yeah.
And they send 1,000 fans. I mean, it's just an incredible culture. And we're happy to be a part of that culture because that's really where Squeaky Bum Time comes from. The name comes from British culture. The love of football comes from my attachment to British culture. Mike just is along for my ride, but I'm deep. I would be doing this without him. He would be doing something else without me.
I'd be face down in a drained pool somewhere. And we're excited to be growing, and there's more on the horizon. We've got a big 2022 coming. We can't exactly tell you everything yet, but we will shortly, I promise. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you again for being along for the ride. That's enough plugs and FaceTime and all that stuff. But again, we just want to make sure that as the year sort of kind of comes to an end, we make sure that you guys know that we enjoy doing this. We look at each other for 2 hours, 3 hours a week, and we laugh. But it's because of you guys thinking we're mildly entertaining that we keep doing it. So thank you all so much. We love you all very much. But let's talk about something we didn't love, which was last week's games. It was just a snooze fest.
It was pretty dire.
But we told you it would be. We said this is hopefully the worst match week of the year. Yeah. And hopefully it was.
Yeah.
But the good news is that we roll on. Or do you want to keep going in?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna talk about City. Just to use the word, I was listening to some podcasts and just they found the right word, and it's City are just robotic. It just is the same and goes and goes and goes. It's incredible. It's amazing. Wolves have one of the best defenses in the league. They weren't giving up shit. Connor Cody, I love him. I love his fucking scouse craziness of being in the middle of that Portuguese team. And then, of course, what do we say? Englishness. In the Premier League, you need Englishness. And he gives them that. And, this was a game.
How long were they down a man? Like 45, at least 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty long. I mean, I could probably look it up really quickly.
But
somewhere in the
Jimenez got a red card late first half, I believe, or early second half.
36 seconds from when he got
right.
Yeah, right at the half.
Yes,
he got the yellow on 41, got the red on 45 plus 2.
Right,
at the half.
And I mean, this is this is a good fight from a good Wolves team, and I was sad to see them not get a point out of that. I thought they absolutely deserved at least one for that effort, but it reminded me a lot of Chelsea early on at Anfield, down a man and just fighting like all hell, and they ended up getting the draw.
They did get their draw,
but
on a penalty,
wasn't to
that
be for
one
Wolves.
As well. That was the one where Jorginho missed? No, I don't know.
I think so. Anyway.
So, but I mean, the thing is like the narrative will say that that Wolves are incredible. City had 9 shots on target, and Jack Grealish missed a fucking sitter. And I mean, open goal, shoots it over the bar. He needs those really bad. I mean, City huffed and puffed, and they couldn't break through. But 23 shots, 9 on target, that's plenty to deserve the win. So City get their win that they deserve. Let me tell you, the one moment in this game is Raheem Sterling stepping up to take the penalty. Holy shit. If there is a moment of heart and mouth, like what are you doing, you terrible fuck? But he's on form, and he did it. He takes the softest shots I've ever seen. They never seem like they're going to go in. Every time he shoots, it feels like I'm shooting. Clearly, he cannot get power behind his shots. It's that little kipper arm that he has. I think he has it on his foot. He has a little kipper foot that I think
not like a Finding really Nemo character or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, City go through. That's fine. The less talked about that game, the better. Just one of those games. Then Leeds Chelsea. Is that a 5-goal thriller? Chelsea get 2 penalties on Rudiger fucking shithousing to the point that I'm ready to have the debate whether the penalty box should be fucking round and not a rectangle, because the corners of the penalty box are bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? If you're in that top corner and you're facing away from goal and someone knocks you over, that's not a fucking penalty.
Right.
You should not be, because the XG of that spot is like 0.1.
Look, there's one very simple rule change that sort of already exists. Was he denied a goal scoring opportunity?
Yeah, that's objective though.
Okay, but we know it's not objective in the corner of the box.
Excuse me.
Right, but thank you. You know what's not subjective? I followed you right down that path. What's not subjective is, like you said, if you're just sitting there and you're in the literal postage stamp corner of the box and you just fall, or if somebody fouls you, that's not a goal scoring opportunity. Yeah, that's a direct free kick in a dangerous position. It could be a free
kick. It could be, well, yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Or you could even, I don't even care. Let it be a throw-in where you could throw it in the goal. I don't give a fuck.
Oh my goodness. We just lost everybody. We just lost everybody from Fan Hub. That's blasphemous.
No, I know. But maybe it's something more absurd. Maybe you can have the penalty, but it's from 18 yards. Like it's from the top of the box. Like
actually,
you're further away. You got to shoot it from further away.
I like that.
That would be a little you might not get them. You might be like, you know what? I'm not going to take this penalty. We'll take the ball.
No, because that would create so many set plays, or it should.
Yeah.
To have like a guy like run off. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
These are stupid
but
nonsense things that are never going to happen.
They get the 2 goals. The Rafinha one is a little bit harsh. He comes in, he sort of slides and gets the ball. It was a striker's tackle. But what the hell was he doing? And then the other one is, Rudiger is a beast, a man who smashed Kevin De Bruyne's face with his look. He didn't even hit him. He just looked at his fucking eye socket and it got smashed into pieces. And he goes down like a sack of potatoes. Like, I get it. I understand. But it's Rudiger in the corner. What are you doing? What is he going to do from there? What is he going to do?
Yeah.
It's the end of the game. And Chelsea literally get the win at the death. I mean, at the 95th minute. And Leeds are just so hard done. They're injured. Bamford's out again. Calvin Phillips is out again. They just can't get a break. Maybe Bielsa runs them too hard.
Well, maybe Bielsa runs them too hard and doesn't, they're basically Tottenham in disguise at this point, right? Like
they're running out of gas.
They run out of gas and they don't have any other people.
Right. It's late Pochettino.
Yes.
It's late Pochettino.
And it's a direct correlation to Bielsa because Pochettino's a fucking disciple of him.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So, I mean, the big boys are getting penalties. So City get a penalty. Everyone gets a penalty. Chelsea get 2. Liverpool get 1 on Steven Gerrard's return to Anfield. He gets the cheer. Steven Gerrard, God, he's fucking charismatic. That's what it is. That's the word, right? Like he's on the sidelines. You're like, okay, let's do this. And I think his team are playing like they have a charismatic leader.
Yeah.
Right. It's sort of, I mean, Klopp has that too. Like I watch Klopp on the sideline. I'm like, okay, where are we? What are we doing? I'm going. Let's do it.
No, charismatic isn't the word I would use for Klopp. Klopp is more like whimsical and like,
but
crazy.
Listen, you know how I always judge things by Lisa. Lisa sees Klopp. She's like, ooh, what's he up to? I'm like, I got you. She sees Pep. He's like, oh, he's a little intense, isn't he?
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's a little intense.
Well, so all right. The way that I would look at it is like,
and Gerrard. What I'm saying is, Gerrard's got the thing. Right?
He's cool.
He's got it.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I don't think Klopp and him. And it's not an insult.
It's not the same. It's different.
Yes,
yeah. But Gerrard's got his team playing hard. I mean, they hung on. They were in trouble. To be fair, like I said, Liverpool are the best 11 in Europe, at least.
Absolutely.
We'll see how they do later on. But Salah draws his penalty. It's fucking annoying. I have to say that since Fabinho and Thiago have been in the midfield, Liverpool don't give up shit.
Yeah, they're looking solid. Yeah, exactly.
They're super solid. And what I've noticed is you're not able to isolate Alexander-Arnold on defense, which is the way to beat Liverpool. It's to get over to him quickly. So that through ball's got to get through that midfield, because usually Fabinho's there to cut it out because they know. And I think Alexander-Arnold knows, but amount of good ball he delivers, you're just like, you are fucking incredible.
Well, so let's stop right there, because that's exactly where it is. The idea is not go down the right and beat him down the right. It is to bring the ball from the middle of the park over, basically put it into space behind him and let your wingers go get it, right?
So that he's back there and not up here.
Well, sure. But the problem with that is that there's basically a brick wall in between where that more or less fucking highway was last year, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's where the main difference with Thiago and Fabinho really comes in.
They just stop. They're preventing things from happening.
It's yes, and in preventing, they're in the headspace of the opponent, because they're trying it less as well. Yeah. Right. So it's a combination of, yes, they've been stopping those balls going by, but also at this point, it's like, find a new way, So and that's kind of the game plan originally has been, like you said, this is the way to at least keep Liverpool honest. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily beat the shit out of them, keep them honest. This is their weak link, as we always say. And we kind of,
he's incredible, but also a weak link, right? Exactly.
No. He is a literal defensive Achilles heel, and I don't think anybody's running that. Yeah. He is as good offensively as he is a liability defensively, right? Yeah. And so you go, okay, cool, come on in. It's almost as if you sucker him in, and then you just basically run right by him. Yeah. But now there's, okay, well, how do we beat Liverpool? And everybody sort of looks around like, oh shit. Yeah, exactly. And while you're saying, oh shit, the midfield, the middle of the park is taking the ball. And while you're basically caught with your pants down, they're passing it out to Diego Jota, to Mane, and most importantly, to Mohamed Salah, who is, for my money, the most dangerous man in the world right now.
He's incredible. Yeah. So he gets the penalty that makes. Now, to be fair, like, Villa would have been lucky to get anything. They had no shots on target, but they had one penalty shout. It was a little bit of a sloppy ball. Ings into Alisson. Alisson is not where he should be. He takes Ings down. I think this is one of those where if Ings goes nuts, he gets the call. But he kind of just goes, oh, I guess I fell down. Like, what are you doing? You just pretend he bit you. Anything. Anyway, but I liked that Gerrard was pissed off. I like Gerrard as a manager. I think I just like Gerrard. I don't know. There's something good about him. There's something about the fact that when he was late in his career, he came on as a sub against United one game and he got a red in 90 seconds. I fucking love that about him.
Yeah, no, like we said, he's cool. He has it. Yeah. And I think I want to see him succeed at Villa, but I want to see him have sustained success at Villa.
Yeah, if he does 2 years, he'll be good. It's 1 year is not enough. It's got to be at least 2.
It depends on the amount of success. It really does. And it also depends on when Liverpool is ready for him, right?
Yeah.
It depends on how long Klopp is interested in doing this.
He seems relaxed. He got rid of his glasses.
Right.
Which really bothers me.
I don't think that's imminent. I think that's on like a year ago, maybe a year and a half, it was way back in the mind of every Liverpool fan. But now, having seen Gerrard managing in Anfield against them, it's a lot closer to the top of mind. So
the big one though is
I'm curious how the next 2 years go for Liverpool as far as the manager's perspective is.
The coach that has to live in post Van Dijk, post Salah, that's going to be tough. Those are not replaceable players.
No. I would never say that they necessarily are.
If I'm Klopp, I'm like, oh, you guys are going? I'll go with you.
Let's go. Yeah, cool. See you later.
We're going? Oh, the party's over? Yeah, let's go to the other party.
At the time. Holy shit, it got later.
Gotta go.
I would say it's going to be a lot down to Fenway Sports Group. By the way, new owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
They did?
Yeah, they did buy them. But it's going to be really down to
first, bad later on.
This is the difference. And by the way, as soon as Crosby and Malkin leave, that's your Van Dijk and Salah, which is coming soon as well. But my thinking is, how do you they've already tried to start with guys like Diego Jota, right? So no, you're not going to get another Mo Salah. No, you're not going to get another Virgil van Dijk, but you can get close-ish if you keep the rest of that squad pretty close together.
They got lucky.
What do you mean? With both of those signings?
Well, Van Dijk, they played a lot. They didn't pay that much. They didn't know Salah was going to be.
No, they got him from Fiorentina for like 20 million.
Yeah. No.
In fact, I would say.
No, it was Roma. It was Roma.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought it was Fiorentina. But anyway.
He went from Chelsea to Fiorentina to Roma.
I was close because he beat, I said Fiorentina. He beat Spurs in the Europa League one year. Yeah. But no, I mean, it's very similar to Sonny. Sonny was an $18 million signing, and look at him now. Obviously having different seasons, but last year you could have had the exact opposite argument about Sonny being a world beater and Salah being pretty good, but not on his level, right? So
I think, it's funny. It's not the right age, but I think Sonny in Liverpool could do what he does, but from the other side. He's as good sometimes.
Oh, you mean like if you put Sonny in the team?
Yeah.
Instead of Salah? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I think that, Trent Alexander-Arnold is special and does a lot of things that
exactly.
we don't.
And it's
that
not
we
to take
don't
anything away from Salah.
Yeah, it's just a good team. It's just an amazing team.
Yeah.
And Salah is now on 14-9, which is fucking ridiculous.
Anyway, got the late game.
I could stop talking about him.
Well, I was going to say, let's dovetail into this coming week's games because, as I said, we're going to have like a day and a half off every week for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I don't need to talk about United. They got a penalty to win, but
they're not even playing.
No, but I'm saying in terms of yesterday's game.
Yeah. Fine,
Ragnarok Revolution, whatever. Norwich should have got a draw. I need a moment.
Yeah, take your. You guys can't see this. His pants are not on, by the way. Right
it's Conor Gallagher time.
Yeah,
he wears 23 like Don Mattingly, a man I loved, and he's a new man that I love. He's 21. He's handsome. He wears a headband. His hair is sort of scraggly. I'm not sure if it's dyed. It's not quite dyed. But
who's the shithead from Norwich who he looks like, but he's way
Cantwell. Cantwell's a bitch.
Cantwell
can't fucking hold that dude. Cantwell is in transition. He's not in close. He's not a man. Conor Gallagher's a man. God damn it. I mean,
I was going to keep accidentally insulting Conor Gallagher just to watch you freak out.
He's just an amazing, amazing player who, when you watch and really pay attention, he's running constantly, trying to get in another space, trying to get on the ball, and he gets on the ball, gets goals. He's got his favorite player is Frank Lampard. I heard because I read about it. It's in Wikipedia, maybe. I'm not sure. And he's very Frank Lampard-esque in that he is a midfielder who's as comfortable showing for the ball from the defense as being in the box as an extra man along with the strikers. So he's just an incredible player. The Selhurst Park fans, if there's a stadium that comes through on television as a place to go, it is Selhurst Park. I'm sure it's in the deepest ghetto of hell, but it's also AFC Richmond's ground, the dog pound, from Ted Lasso. So it's known on television more and more as the home of Richmond. Probably more people have watched Ted Lasso than have watched.
I bet you that's probably why they are filming there, because it has it's known for such good acoustics.
Yeah. So he won them the game. And the final goal in the last minute after running all day on a steal, on a fuck up from Seamus Coleman, another guy I love, but that Everton team is in the unwatchable pile of death. Another one for the dinosaurs, Rafa. Can we trade him for Eddie Howe? I'm going to will that into existence.
Oh my goodness.
That's what needs to happen. Eddie Howe to Everton, Rafa to Newcastle.
Does Rafa save Newcastle?
Rafa would save Newcastle, and Eddie Howe would unlock Everton while they give up lots and lots and lots of goals.
Yeah. Okay.
The less said about Brentford, the better, but they get a win, thank God. Mbueno gets the win. No Tony in that game. So
No
Brian
Tony, no
Mbueno
party.
is turning it around. That was the Friday game. So the less we talk about that game as well. But we're just happy about it because now Brentford are in the top 10 where they belong. They're on 16 games with 20 points. You know what that means? They're well on their way to 40.
Oh, yeah. No, they'll be okay.
They're not going down.
They'll be okay.
Yeah.
What you said, 16 points? I have the table up, but
16 games and have
20 points. Yeah, 20 points. They're literally
huge.
Doubling up the relegation zone. They'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, and I don't think that that's the bar for them anyway. But let's switch gears because we've got some time left here. But let's run through what's going to happen starting today. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, Saturday, Sunday. So like I said, get ready to be unproductive at work. Get ready to enjoy pretty much more European football than you can handle in the next 3 weeks.
Not possible. I can always handle it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm firmly in the I've had enough category, but I haven't had to get frustrated about Spurs in like almost
they're doing well, not playing. It's amazing.
Spurs are undefeated. So it's been great. But so they look like they will be back in action against Leicester, which I think is going to be one of the big games of the week. Leicester coming off that 4-0 against Newcastle. Spurs going to the King Power, where generally this game does have a lot of goals in it. So I would hit the over.
Here's the thing. Leicester are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. Yeah. They are falling apart. I've called it here. I will say it again. It's Schmeichel. Schmeichel's shitty.
Yeah. Here you are. Kane gets off the mark. Spurs win 2-0.
Off the schneid. Leicester are a bottom 5 defensive team. They're there with Everton, Watford, Newcastle. They're in the bottom. They are
now. We think Spurs will be healthy enough to play this game. I think, as I said in the open, but we'll see. That's still to be determined. That's the Thursday game. There's time between here and then. Hopefully, everybody's feeling well enough to do that. One game that has been canceled, unfortunately, already is today's Brentford United game. Sounds like Wuhan is going through the United camp, and that's not great. So we wish everybody well there.
United are fucking lucky. That would have been Tuesday night. In Brentford, bouncing. Brentford would have come and punched them in the fucking mouth.
So,
especially coming off a great game on Friday.
If Tony was able to play, I would agree with you. If not, then he's a big miss. I mean, you can get past Watford without him, but I don't think you can really hold a candle to United right now.
United's defense is not good. They barely hung on because De Gea saved their ass.
But Mbuemo, in so much as he won the game this weekend,
he'll hit the post 3 times.
He'll hit everything but the back of the net. So Tony is so important to that team's success long term, and I don't know. This could be a win for Brentford down the line because they're still going to play United at home, and they're probably still going to have a night game. So that's something. If they're going to reschedule it, they'll probably reschedule it in like February in midweek during an FA Cup week when they're both out or some shit, and then they'll get their night game.
Maybe on the day of the League Cup final or something weird like that. Yeah. Norwich Aston Villa only has narrative because Dean Smith is playing Aston Villa. I would expect Aston Villa to win that game, but weird shit happens. And then the game that is tasty, City versus Leeds. Last season, Leeds took 4 points off of City. Yeah. So scary stuff for City.
Well,
but the way City are playing right now, they should at home blow the complete doors off of Leeds.
Well, you said
it'll
already,
be a finishing problem.
No Calvin Phillips, no Bamford. I'm not feeling really good about what Leeds has right now, right? So I mean, in so much as if they had their full 11, it'd be a great game to watch. But this should be City to the races.
Again,
so we'll see.
If City score in the first 15 minutes, you can bank them for 3. If they don't, they'll win 1-0.
Yep, that's fair. But enough about them. Let's talk about the game that you're really excited about this week.
Which one?
Brighton versus Wolves.
Why would I be excited about that?
Well, because you love Brighton, and I think that Wolves are going to give them a hell of a run right now.
I'm more interested in Arsenal, West Ham, London derbies, baby.
We'll get there in a second, but I think that Wolves are smarting over the shitty tournament events.
Armpit handball.
Armpit handball and the red card, right? So they're not going to have Jimenez, which is a big miss.
He is a bit scoring.
But yeah, I mean Yeah, I mean, if he's feeling well enough to kick out something, then maybe he's feeling well enough to head a ball once in a while. But yeah,
My friend,
I'm excited for that
My
one.
friend Neil Mope and his wipes. He's gonna
His
go after.
wipes.
He's gonna go after wolves. He
Oh
loves a
my
dog.
God.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck.
All right, let's talk about the London Derby.
West Ham Wolves. West Ham are better.
No.
I mean, sorry,
West Ham Arsenal. West Ham Arsenal, yeah.
West Ham are better.
Oh,
Arsenal are
definitely.
inconsistent. I see this as a classic game where Arsenal. This is another measuring stick game. Every time Arsenal have played someone in the top of the league, like City or Liverpool or Chelsea, they get the doors blown off them.
Boat raced.
This will be another test, and United, for that matter. This will be another moment where is Arsenal's playing as good as West Ham's grafting? And can Arsenal take a real punch? They have historically not been able to take a punch. They've been able to take punches within their own realm of things like a Crystal Palace punch or a Brighton punch. But can they take a West Ham, David Moyes, Glasgow kiss punch? We'll see. We'll see how that goes for them. I mean, West Ham are struggling a little bit. Lots of injuries. Mikel Antonio hasn't scored in a while. He scored 6 goals, I think, in the first 5 games and hasn't scored since. The depth is now being tested. They've Noah Igbana. They'll have to figure out ways to manufacture and get their defense going. But I like West Ham in this game. If they're going to stay in that top 4 spot, they've got to beat Arsenal. If not, they're going to slide even further. And Arsenal will actually jump them. It could be that this is the last weekend with West Ham in the top 4 if Manchester United win. We went through United's schedule. Remember, United don't play a team outside of the bottom 10 currently until March 5th.
Yeah.
That's how good a run United are
so,
on.
I mean,
they could go undefeated.
They're going to surpass West Ham. It's a question of when, not if. But
yeah,
I mean, and it could be this weekend. You could find West Ham all the way in 6th. You could find them all the way in 7th by the end of Thursday.
Yeah.
And by the way, they would be in 7th behind Spurs. Or sorry, they'd probably still be on Spurs on goal difference. But Spurs having 2 games in hand on them, so tied for 7th place.
And then we do have the transfer window opening. I'm gonna will this into existence. Anthony Martial is gonna go to Brighton. Or Lingard maybe will go to Brighton. I'm just looking for one of these classy finishers to really be a tag team partner for Mope.
In what regard?
You know what?
Would he bring the wipes as well? Would he have to bring his own wipes, or is he going to share wipes?
He's a real bareback. He just uses newspaper.
That's it.
I don't think you can come out of that. I'm just gonna go to it. That was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike Salerno and Laurent Cortines. We are the football wing of the Chop Sport Network, and we record on Tuesdays and Fridays. So be sure to subscribe and get your newspaper delivered wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you're listening on Apple, please rate and review the show so that we can have more people listen to the show and get inside jokes like Neil Mope's sexual exploits, newspapers, and window wipes.